So why do dogs jump? I mean, typically because they want to mug us. No. They want our attention. Well, maybe focus for attention. They're excited. Okay. There are some dogs that they have no self-control. They don't know what to do with themselves, and they're just like, "Yo, you're home!" All right? They're just excited. They want to say hi. Okay. So let's think about, what do people do when dogs jump on you? What happens? Right? You come home and you're like, "Oh, it's so nice to see you," and then sprawling. What do we do? What do we do?
Look at them.
Look at them. What else do we do?
Tell them no, push them away.
Yeah, tell them no, push them away. Right? We do stuff to encourage it. Whoops. Right? We do. We look at the dog, we push him away, other physical contact. Right? This is, I see you, it's working, you're getting my attention. All right? So it's a reaction. All right? You talk to them. My favorite is when people go, "No jump, no jump, no jump." What? Have you actually taught no jump? And if so, what is that cue defined as? Well, think about that in a second. We'll go over what cues are. All right, but we react to the behavior. Even turning around is doing something different. Okay? When you walk in, if your dog is leaping on you and jumping on you, all right, you act like they don't exist. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. Pretend like you're oblivious to everything they're doing. Right? So you come in, there's a difference. Right? I walk into my house and my dog jumps and I start going like this. Well, this is obviously something different than what I was doing. It was a break in my behavior, wasn't it? I all of a sudden went to go put my keys down, but I went up. Because someone probably told me to turn away from my dog. Right? However, dogs pick that up. Our body language is a big neon sign. We are just big, huge walking neon signs for dogs. Okay? Remember something as little as this? Down. You better believe they're going to pick up on that. Okay? So, when you think about it, it's a reaction to their behavior. They're going to learn, "Oh, this is getting me somewhere." It's a step in the right direction. Okay? The other thing is, again, focusing on what not to do. All right? Like walking away, walking out of the room. What does that teach? All right? Right now, if all of a sudden I went, "Where'd she go? What happened? What did we do? Was it me? I don't know. Was it you? What'd you do?" Was there any information in that? No. There was zero information in that. So again, that's on focusing on the don't. All right? Don't get stuck in the don't. Don't tell your dog, "Well, I told you to don't." All right? There's no information in that. So, what do you want to do instead? Well, then you define what you want to live with. I personally like sit. I don't care if you teach your dog to roll over, give you 5, get a toy. I mean, there's tons of options, okay? There's some dogs that are nervous meeting people at first, so, we cue them to go to their bed or to maybe sit behind the owner or do something, target something else so they're looking at something else instead of the person. I mean, you got options. You've got plenty of options. There is not one way to go about anything, right? If I have some antifreeze in the garage and my dog goes, "Ooh, what's that pretty green stuff?" All right? How would you prevent your dog, besides, of course, not leaving it out in the first place, but how would you prevent your dog from going up and getting into it? Let's pretend they know a 200-word vocabulary. Just be creative. No one could just go, "Oh, well, don't do that." Yeah.
Leave it.
Yeah, leave it is probably the first thing that comes to mind. And you know what? Not saying I agree or disagree, but you stuck your hand in the air and offered a question, so you can get a box. All right. Maybe you'll have more class participation. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? to sit. Down, back up, roll over, come, target. Go get your stuffed squeaky toy. Okay? Everything that I just listed would get them to not interact with that antifreeze. Don't get stuck in the whole, they're going for it, so I should tell them to leave it. Okay? Which is very common, and it's useful, sure, but what about just telling them to do something else to just get them to not focus on it? Okay? So, you want to keep in mind you have options. So you think about what you want your dog to do. Alright? Like I said, I like sit, so that's the example I'm going to use, but you can pick whatever you want. If you reinforce that specific behavior and really make it clear that is what works, you'll have a dog that goes, oh, I get it. I know it works now. Alright? You're not changing the outcome. You're not changing the reward. You're not giving them something different. You're just changing how they get it. Alright? So the whole jumping thing, you don't need your clicker. You don't need your treats. I used it with Daisy because she was that quick and that jumpy, and I just wanted to really speed training along. Alright? Because clicker training is faster and it works. But you don't have to. So, if they want your attention and you come home, your dog jumps on you, are you going to pretend like it affected you at all? Say no. Alright, what are you going to do? You're just going to keep, if you're buttoning your shirt, just keep buttoning your shirt. Take your coat off, put your keys down, walk over here, say hi to your husband. I mean, just do whatever you want to do, and the dog doesn't exist. Okay? This will be hard for you. It's hard for me. It was hard for me with him, especially. It's always hard with your own dog. Because you want to pet him, you want to say hi. You had a bad day at work and you're like, oh, I hate my boss, but I love you. It's going to do you a disservice though, trust me. And it's also, when you think about it, not fair to the dog. Because what are they learning? Are they learning that wagging their tail, marching their feet, standing on this rug? Who knows? I hear the saying 4 on the floor a lot. Well, how many things can you think of off the top of your brain a dog can do with 4 paws on the floor? A lot, right? Is that specific? Does that really pinpoint something specific? Probably not. There's too much gray area, okay? I know dogs that'll spin when you come in. So the point is just pick something specific, all right? So you come home, you ignore the dog completely. As soon as they throw a sit at you, now a little kicker side note here, if you teach sit beforehand and really, really heavily reward it, guess what the dog might throw out first? Sit. Because it just worked previously for other stuff. Okay? That is one powerful thing about positive reinforcement training is you tend to get this overshootage of, I just learned how to down, I'm going to do that for everything for the next 2 weeks. It's okay, it goes away, it doesn't constantly keep going, okay? You just maintain it after that, but they'll try whatever they learn last first. So, practice a lot of sits, come home, ignore dog, as soon as they sit, hi, what's going on? Try to pay attention to them, okay? Is it realistic, especially in the beginning? Remember that whole let's not go from easy to difficult? Let's do the whole progression. Is it realistic to think the dog's going to sit the whole time? No. Not a shot. Sit is the green light. It is the starting point for us to pet them. Okay? So, what do you think is going to be that red light where no reward happens anymore? Jumping. Right. But now the dog has a very, very clear understanding of, if I jump, you immediately stop paying attention to me. All rewards stop. I don't want that. If I sit, you start. Okay? So try that at home.